Thank you, Mr. President, and all the colleagues you have up here at your panel. My name is Dick Schouten. I live at 6105 Southwest 148th Avenue in Beaverton, and I'm on the Washington County Board of Commissioners. I represent most of Beaverton, Aloha, Cooper Mountain, including this immediate area here in the downtown part of Beaverton. Just a couple of things. I hadn't really intended to speak, but a couple of quick comments. One, just to re-echo a comment that Metro Councilor Carl Hostica had made, that the County Board of Commissioners has not yet, as a board, sat down or held a hearing on where we stand with the urban and rural reserves. So for all those who have landed harsh comments about Washington County, we still have time. There's still time. The time is not finished yet for us to get this right. Number two. We all know that there's only so much money that's available for public infrastructure improvements, transportation, for planning, landscaping, all the kinds of things that make for a great community. And as a matter, I think, of enlightened self-interest, I would like to make sure that we get enough dollars to make the kind of investments in transportation, in the planning, all the kinds of amenities that I think are going to be needed to spark the kind of public-private investments that we will need and I think should have in an area like downtown Beaverton and Aloha and other communities as well outside of my district, such as Raleigh Hills and the area in Cedar Mills and so forth. So while we can certainly see that down the road there will be some areas that will be coming in at some point into our metropolitan area. We also need to remember that for those of us who live here, those of us who represent areas that are in critical need of a lot of investments, we need to take care of those first and foremost, in my own view. Thank you. That's fast 2 minutes.
Yeah. Question. Councilor Liberty.
Mr. Schouten, I wonder, on your concluding comment about take care of those places first, are there, and you've mentioned Beaverton, are there other parts of the county that are of particular concern that you think need investment that we should be thinking about as part of our regional strategy? Well,
certainly, I mentioned briefly the Aloha area, which I also represent. We have done, as a community, as a region, at this point, relatively little towards really nurturing a really good town center in Aloha. And we certainly need continued investments there. We want to make sure that over time that it not become a declining inner suburban area and suffer the consequences that has occurred when there's, and other cities, when there's been massive increases on the edges, and then areas that were closer in have declined and property values suffer and so forth. So that's one area. I've mentioned briefly Cedar Mill, Raleigh Hills, which is another area we've done practically no real work on. We made an attempt which was aborted back in 2000 as far as the Raleigh Hills area, the area around Olson, Shoals, and BH Highway. Certainly any number of other places. I'm sure representatives up here would like to see investments in downtown Tigard, on and on and on. These areas are all going to take a great deal of money. When I think about what we're looking at North Bethany, the kind of massive public investments we're going to need to make there for the 800 acres there that are inside the UGB, it takes a lot of money to create and to nurture and build and sustain a really distinctive community. So, and I think Beaverton in particular is very compelling because this is a downtown area that's, you've got Highway 26, you've got 217, you've got 2 MAX lines, you've got 13 buses. It's a central location for Washington County with direct line into downtown Portland. This should be an area that's thriving in terms of residential, commercial, and retail, and it's not. And it's going to take a lot of investment that I'd like to see into this district. And as I said in the beginning, there's only so much of it that's going to be spread around. So the thinner it gets spread, the less likely we're going to see success in Beaverton and Aloha.
Thank you.
Council President. Councilor Burkholder.
Well, I thank you, Dick, for coming, or Commissioner Schouten, thank you very much for coming tonight. And I think also focusing on a piece of this recommendation that will not get as much attention. And I think it's important that I just want to comment to recognize that the issue of reinvesting and investing in the lands that we have, and I think that's a critical piece that is to me probably more important, as it sounds like it is to you, than the question of small incremental changes around the edge. It's really, what do we do with the 265,000 acres that we already have? And how do we make sure those communities are successful? So I appreciate you bringing it up, because it is something that tends not to be quite as emotional and attract attention, yet it's where 95% of the population of the region lives within that boundary. And how do we do a better job? And you laid out really well the challenges we have, and we have those in every community throughout the region. So I just want to recognize that, because that is a major component of our work. It is one of our biggest challenges in terms of figuring out how do we actually find the revenue and the resources to do this kind of work. Is a very big challenge we all face, and it's a key component of the work that we've been doing over the last 3 years to develop a strategy for sustainable and high-quality growth, where everyone benefits from it. So thanks for coming in and speaking to that, because to me that's one of our key pieces of work that we need to do, and it's great to have comments back on that piece of that work. Thank you.
You're welcome.